so cool. I didn't know there's going to be lights and smoke. I feel like a bit of a rock star. So these past few weeks, I've been obsessed about app onboarding. You know, those annoying screens that appear right before the app. Like, I just want to use the app. I don't want to do a whole bunch of reading. But it turns out those screens are super important, but not for the reasons that you think. I'm Adam Lyttle. I'm an indie app developer. I'm a father of 5. I've got one more on the way, and I've been an indie app developer since 2020. And I've generated over 2 million downloads and over $1 million in revenue from App Store sales, which, because I'm in Japan, is 159 million yen. And today we're going to look at app onboarding. For the past few weeks, I've been building an app called Spesh. You swipe through your camera roll to find memories worth reliving, and the app turns it into a video that you can share with friends, or you can just kind of reminisce. But I have a problem. How do I demonstrate an app like this to the user before they've even used it? How do you communicate what this even does? Well, you can do that with onboarding. Designing onboarding with a flow that actually works. And by the end of this talk, you'll know why you need app onboarding, the app onboarding strategies that actually work, and how to design an app onboarding flow that converts downloads into paying users. Because when you get onboarding right, it dramatically increases your revenue. And this all started for me when I took the kids to the aquarium in Singapore. And I was actually at Singapore iOS conference just a few months ago. We went to the aquarium. My youngest are 2 and 4 years old, and we were walking through the attractions, we're having fun, we were learning, and we were exploring. All the while, I'm dreading what happens when we leave, when we go through the gift shop. I don't want to deal with tantrums, so the whole time I'm working out my exit strategy. I'm working out, I'm going to go straight through the gift shop. There's going to be no stopping. Kids, close your eyes, don't look. We don't need any of those overpriced toys that you're just going to use for a day and throw away. So here I am, we're enjoying the day. We made our way to the shark tank. It's this tank you get to walk under, and the sharks swim right over top of you. Like, it's beautiful and it's mesmerizing. And before I knew it, I had bought a teddy, overpriced toy for the kids. A shark that sings Baby Shark. You know the one. Don't worry, I won't sing it. And I know what you're thinking. What does any of this have to do with app onboarding, let alone apps in general? Well, a lot, actually. I like to find patterns that happen in real life and think about how they can apply to the apps that I build. And I realized aquariums are kind of like an app onboarding flow. Stay with me here. At an aquarium, you follow a very familiar path. The typical aquarium experience looks like this. You enter the aquarium, you see a bunch of attractions, and then you exit through the gift shop. And I guess they're kind of hoping that a father's going to give in to the tantrums of their toddler and buy them a little shark toy. An app onboarding kind of looks similar when you think about it. You open the app for the first time, you see a bunch of features, and you exit through the paywall. And then you hope someone's going to actually subscribe by the end of all of that. And there's a few ways that you can achieve this. There's a few ways that you can build the app onboarding flow. There's the single sheet. This is a feature-focused onboarding flow, and it's literally a single sheet. Apple uses these everywhere. They're easy to build, they're easy to add, and if you're like me, you're an indie app developer and you're stuck in code all day, you're stuck thinking about features, it's really easy to implement. All it is literally a list of features of your app. The iOS Translate app has conversation views, audio translate, system-wide translation, and when you update the iOS, it even tells you what the apps are going to do, what you can expect for them. For like Apple Podcasts, you've got video podcasts, watch or listen, and offline viewing. Even when I connected my new AirPods, I get this sheet, live translations with Apple Intelligence. But sadly, that doesn't work with Japanese and English, and it's kind of just in beta, so maybe next year. And there's charging reminders, there's new charging status, pause media on sleep, and then there's camera control. And if it's good enough for Apple, it's good enough for us. I've used this exact flow on my currency converter app. It's a single sheet showing features, instant currency conversions, 24/7 live updates, and an ad-free experience. It's nothing special, but it's familiar and it works. And this particular flow leads the user straight to a soft paywall. A soft paywall is one that they can exit out of, and then hopefully they play around with the app a bit and they change their mind and then they purchase to unlock the full version. This type of onboarding flow is perfect for utility apps and single-purpose apps. Creating a sheet in SwiftUI is super simple, and I actually open-sourced this exact flow. It's one line of code that calls onboarding view, and you specify the name of your app, you specify each feature, you tell it the title, the description, and the icon, and it just links up to SF symbols. There's a link there to the GitHub repo if you want to check it out. And we can even expand on this single sheet by adding even more screens. This is the slideshow onboarding flow. Instead of having a single sheet with just the features, now we have multiple screens. Now you can showcase the benefits, the positive reviews. You can guide the user through setting up permissions, creating user accounts, logging in, whatever you want. And it's limited to like 3, maybe 7 screens maximum. And for years, this has been the most common onboarding flow. When you think about onboarding, this is probably what you immediately think of. The type of onboarding flow is ideal for apps that have a clear benefit and the reason why someone would actually want to download your app, not just the features themselves, but why they should care. Or if you need sort of trigger app permissions or account creations, this guides the user through the entire process and it holds their hand. I've open sourced this particular implementation as well. It's called the cinematic onboarding view because it has space for full screen animations, transitions, and it's much more immersive experience than just the single sheet. The QR code there on the screen is a link to the repo. All you have to do is import it and just change some of those text placeholders on your app. Both of these onboarding flows do a good job at telling the user what the features are of the app. The slideshow lets you dive in with more details to each feature. By the end of the onboarding flow, someone would say, hey, this is the app that I was looking for. This does what I need it to do. But it's the same experience for everyone. Every user will see the same screens, and it's not really personal. It can feel a bit markety, like you're just preaching at them, and the user still hasn't actually used the app. And worst of all, most users are expecting a paywall the moment this onboarding finishes. They're preparing themselves for all the reasons why they won't purchase, just like I was preparing myself for why I'm not going to buy a toy at the aquarium gift shop. But is there a better way? Are we thinking about app onboarding wrong instead of like a bunch of features? Maybe, just maybe, there's something more. So there we are at the Shark Tank in the Singapore aquarium. It's beautiful, it's memorizing, and the kids are loving it. And they're singing Baby Shark. Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do. Sorry, I had to do that. In that moment, I forget the gift shop was coming up. I forget the tantrums are coming up. I was in the moment, there with the kids. And then something unexpected happened. Okay, kids, come on, let's go to the next attraction. But before the next attraction, we turned a corner and there was a gift shop right there. Right then, we could purchase a shark toy. And I did. All the self-talk of not buying anything, all the preparations for those tantrums, and here we are, an overpriced toy in my child's hand. So, what happened? The aquarium didn't follow the usual pattern, the one that I was expecting. Enter the aquarium, see the attractions, exit through the gift shop. Instead, the Singapore aquarium did something a little bit different. You enter the aquarium, you experience the attraction, and then right away there's like this mini gift shop, right there at the peak of my excitement. The gift shop wasn't just waiting for me at the end of the experience, when I'm tired, when I'm fatigued, when I'm sort of expecting it to happen. Instead, there were these small opportunities to purchase scattered throughout the entire aquarium, immediately after each main attraction. And my guard, it was down. I was excited. And this was the right moment. This was the moment I was most motivated to purchase. See the Shark Tank, buy a shark toy. So what if we did the same thing with our apps? What if the onboarding flow didn't just show the features, didn't just showcase the benefits, but actually let the user experience them, the best part of our app within the onboarding flow? What if we could apply this technique to our onboarding flow? Well, we can. This changes everything. Say hello to the questionnaire onboarding flow. Don't be scared. It might look like a lot, but it's actually broken down into 4 key phases. We've got the entrance. This is like the aquarium entrance, and it welcomes the user onto the app. This is the hook. It sets the expectations, and it does some of the housekeeping, like setting up permissions. Then the personalization starts. In this phase, the user is asked a bunch of questions, but not just any questions. They're asked questions related to how they're going to use the app, and it forces the user to actually read the onboarding screen and gives the impression that the app is being personalized just for them. It's asking users to think about what they want from the app, and these are benefits and features disguised as personalization. The user feels like they are customizing the app, and that by the end of this process, you're shown this nice little animation that generates a custom plan. This is my app. This is my personalization. Apps like Cal AI use this exact same technique. It's an app that generates $1 million a month, largely due to onboarding flow, because we're in Japan, 159 million yen. The questions ask things like, how much do you weigh? How tall are you? What's your age? And what's your goal and target weight? To be clear, Cal AI is an app that just scans your food and shows how many calories are in it. That's it. That's the feature. But the questionnaire here is doing something interesting with the psychology. They're digging down deep, something personal, finding out the reason why you would want to use the app. But you can take it a step further. We can replicate that Shark Tank moment within our app by showing a demo of what the app does. Here, the user gets to experience your app. The user gets a quick taste of what it can do. And in this case, in my Spesh app, it gives the option to relive one of the memories buried deep within the camera roll. And the entire customization process, the entire permission priming process, this was all set up for this moment, the Shark Tank moment, the main attraction, right here on the onboarding flow. An app called Mob does exactly this. It's an app that plans your meals, gives you recipes, and even schedules your shopping for you. During the onboarding flow, it asks questions like, what do you want to achieve? Are you looking to hit macro goals, doing meal prep for the week, or finding recipes? And it calculates a custom plan just for you. And then it gives you a taste of the app itself, right within the onboarding flow. It demonstrates how easy the app works and shows you the actual main features. This app is doing $100,000 a month in revenue. That's around about like 16 million yen a month. And straight after that screen, you get shown the paywall. That's phase 4, the gift shop. Right after the peak emotion, the user has actually felt the value for themselves. They've understood the value. They have experienced the value for themselves. And you're not just asking them to imagine what the app does. They already know. They've experienced it. So let's put this all together. In Spesh, this is what it looks like. We've got the entrance. This is the first thing you see when you open up the app. Every day tells a story. Spesh finds special days hiding in your camera roll and turns them into beautiful memories you'll treasure forever. This is the hero, the reason why, the emotional connection, and it hits immediately. Next, there's the permission priming, and you can push these a bit further down the onboarding flow, but I wanted to get these out the way at the front because it's going to index the camera roll and it's going to deliver a full-length video at the end of it. So I want that to happen all in the background. Then we've got the personalization phase. What do you want to relive? The kids growing up, family days out, date nights? Your best moments are going unseen. Then it reinforces the benefits and generates your custom app experience. Your special days are ready. We found some beautiful moments. And this is the Shark Tank moment. This is the most important part of the entire onboarding experience. It shows the user what the app does, but not in a personal, curated type of way. It shows the best part, the most viral moment, the moment that will get them subscribing. And then a real memory film surfaces, a day that they forgot about right here on the onboarding. They can share it, they can feel it. That should be playing a video. There we are. And the user didn't have to wait for that to be done, not like me on my slideshow. It happens on the device, and this screen is personalized absolutely to them, their memories, their emotions, and it plays some beautiful music in the background. And maybe, just maybe, they relive that special moment, they see it through fresh eyes and connect with the experience. That's the Shark Tank, the peak emotion. And then, of course, we have the paywall, the gift shop. Immediately after the main attraction, after you've shown value through the questionnaire, through the demo, now they can continue using the app for free for a week, and this is essentially a hard paywall. You can't continue into the app unless you subscribe or unless you sign up for a free trial, because you don't actually need to offer a freemium version anymore when the user has already experienced the app. So how did I create this onboarding flow? It's not as complicated as you might think. Each screen is just a Swift UI view. And I adopted a consistent look and feel throughout the entire onboarding flow, ensuring the button to continue is prominent on each page, and it's in the same general location so the user doesn't get too lost. They know how to progress screen to screen. And the code itself is simple. A state tracks what step we're on. It's just an integer. And the onboarding view shows the view that correlates to that step. A button on each page triggers the advanced function, which increments a step one by one. And this is what it looks like. But I don't want the transition to feel so clunky. I want it to be a bit more premium, like each step slides into the next. To do that, I added transition for insertion and removal, move the trailing edge with opacity when it's coming onto the screen, and move the leading edge with opacity when it's going off the screen. Then I set the advanced function as an ease in-out animation with a duration of 0.3. And then it looks a little bit nicer. But the hardest part of onboarding isn't actually the code. It's just a Swift UI view. It's actually getting into the marketing mindset to not only think about your app from a features perspective or a benefits perspective, but also from a user's perspective. What questions can you ask them to get them thinking about your app? What personalization can you add? And what is the core functionality? But I've got a confession. I created a Claude skill that does all of this for me. The special onboarding flow that you've just seen was generated by a Claude skill using the skill app onboarding questionnaire. You basically just run the Claude skill, it analyzes your code base, it will define the benefits, the features, the core reasons someone should care about your app, then it designs each screen one by one and builds the entire onboarding flow. It shows the welcome screen, the questions, the pain points, that sort of thing. And you can check it out, download it for Claude Code. That QR code goes straight to the repo for it. So today we talked about the different types of onboarding flow. Onboarding flows, when done right, not only explains what your app does, but also sets permissions and ultimately converts downloads into paying customers. Pick the right onboarding flow for your app, like a single sheet, which is best for utility apps, best for single purpose apps, slideshows, which are best for apps that need permissions set up, that have a clear benefit and a reason to use the app, and the questionnaire onboarding flow with a demo, and that's best for apps that promise a transformation that is personalized. You can check out my GitHub at github.com/AdamLytleApps for all the code I showed you today. But most importantly, don't just list features. Let users experience it for themselves. Find your app's Shark Tank moment, hook it into an emotional moment that makes the users actually feel something, not just some technical details, and that's when you get it right and the paywall will just convert itself. You can download Spesh on the App Store today. You can just search for Spesh or do that QR code. And while you're here, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk a lot about indie app development, what works, what doesn't, and how I somehow juggle 5 kids while finding time to build apps. Thank you.